Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to our virtual class. By the way, I'm Jamalia Enero and I'm your MAPI teacher this morning. Our topic this morning is all about contemporary Philippine music. But before that, this is our objectives. Objectives: A. Define the contemporary composer of the Philippines. B. Show importance of contemporary music. C. Appreciates the contemporary music in the Philippines. Contemporary Philippine music refers to compositions that have adapted ideas and elements from 20th century art, music in the West, as well as the latest trends and musical styles in the entertainment industry. Philippine contemporary composers Francisco Vincamino Sr. was born on November 5, 1838 in Bulacan. His father was Fortunato Vincamino, a church organist and bandmaster. His mother was Loisa Beltran, a note singer. He studied music composition and harmony at Liceo de Manila. Unfortunately, he was not able to finish his studies. He taught at the Ateneo de Manila and at Centro Escolar de Señoritas, whose Conservatory of Music he founded. He also created the Gwyn Camino Music Academy in 1930, where Nicanor Abelardo was one of his students. Expanding his career, he ventured into musical directing and scoring, and composing film music for Sampaguita Pictures. Gwyn Camino's compositions include Harana, Pandango ni Nining, Colar de Sampaguita, Dulces, Las Horas, Mayon, Fantasia de Concerto, Soul's Lament, Larawan, Mazurka, Buholana, Di Mandera, Prinsesa ng Kumintang, Maligayang Bati, and Bukang Liwayway. Pandango ni Nining, Ang Bagong Balitaw, Himig ng Nayon, Damdamin o Romance, and Pizzicato Caprice. Many of his piano works have become a staple part of the Philippines repertoire of today's young students, especially Mayon, Larawan, and Maligayang Bati. He also wrote several zarzuelas and andamans. He passed away on October 16, 1952, after which a posthumous award honored him with the title Outstanding Composer. This is Francisco Santiago, PhD. Was born on January 29, 1889 in Santa Maria, Bulacan, to musically inclined parents, Felipe Santiago and Maria Santiago. He is known as the father of the Kundiman and belongs to the triumvirate of the Filipino composers. He finished his music specializations at the American Conservatory of Music in Chicago, where he obtained his doctorate degree in 1924. Santiago's music was romantic style, incorporating Western forms and techniques with folk materials. He composed several works such as Kundiman, symphonies, piano, concerte, and other music pieces for the piano, violin, and voice. Among his famous works are Pakiusap, Madaling Araw, Sakali Man, Hibik ng Pilipinas, Ano Kaya ang Kapalaran, and Kundiman, or Anak Dalita. This piece was sung before the Royal Court of Spain upon the request of King Alfonso II. Santiago was also musical director for films. Among the films whose music he supervised by his own compositions, Pakiusap. He became the first Filipino director of the University of the Philippines, or UP, Conservatory of Music. He died on September 28, 1947. Next is Ninono Santa Ana Abelardo. 1893–1934. Was born in San Miguel de Mayumo, Bulacan on February 7, 1893. He is one of the triumvirates of Filipino composer, which includes Antonio Molina and Francisco Santiago. He studied at the Chicago Music College and was influenced by the musical styles of Schoenberg, Hindemith, and Stravinsky. Abelardo developed a style that combined European Romanticism with Chromaticism. His compositions contains hazy tones, dissonance, and unusual chordal combinations. Abelardo is also considered a composer in the Romantic style. His best-known compositions include Mutya ng Pasig, Nasaan Ka Irog, Kabatena for Violoncello, and Magbalik Ka Hirang, as a composition major at the University of the Philippines. He also composed the melody for the university's official anthem, UP Naming Mahal, the main theater of the Cultural Center of the Philippines or Tanghalang Nicanor Abelardo, and a building housing the College of Music in UP Diliman and Abelardo Hall are named in his honor. He died on March 21, 1934. Next is Antonio G. Molina. National Artist for Music. Was born on December 26, 1894 in Quiapo, Manila. He is the first national artist for music. He is considered one of the triumph of Filipino composers, which includes Nicanor Abelardo and Francisco Santiago. He began his music career as an orchestral soloist at the Manila Grand Opera House. He went to serve as Dean of the Centro Escolar University Conservatory of Music from 1948 to 1970. And he was also a faculty member of the University of the Philippines Conservatory, now College of Music. Molina wrote several compositions for piano, violin, and voice, as well as a Spanish style opera forms known as the zarzuela. He is best known for his poignantly romantic serenade for violin and piano, Hating Gabi. Subsequent transcriptions of this piece were written for cello, flute, piano, and guitar. Molina's work includes orchestral music, Misa Antoniana, Grand Festival Mass, and Batingaw, Kundiman or Kundangan, chamber music string quartet, Kung Sayong Gunita, Pandangguhan, and vocal music amihan, awit ni Maria Clara, ang larawan nitong Pilipinas. He received the National Artist for Music Award in 1973 and passed away on January 29, 1980. Next is Hilarion F Rubio, 1902–1985. Was born on October 21, 1902 in Bacoor, Cavite. A composer, music teacher, conductor, and clarinetist, he created substantial work for the orchestra. He served as conductor for opera, ballet, dance, recitals, and movie music. Rubio's early interest in music came from the influence of his uncle, who was then playing with the Bacoor band. His first music lessons in music theory and clarinet were with Father Amado Vincamino, who taught him solfeggio and some musical instruments. When he was 8 years old, he was accepted as a member of the Bacoor band as a clarinetist. At that time, he made his first composition, Unang Katas, for this concerto, with the band in his high school years at the North High School. He performed with various movie house bands and orchestra. Next is Colonel Antonino Arbuena Ventura, 1904–1996. National Artist for Music, was born on May 4, 1904 in Balawag, Bulacan. He is a renowned composer, conductor, and teacher. His father, Lucio, was the chief musician of the Spanish artillery band in Intramuros and founder of Banda Binaventura. As a boy, the younger Binaventura had already demonstrated a passion for music while learning the rudiments of music and solfeggio, and becoming a proficient player. At the age of 19, he developed his musical abilities at the Conservatory of Music, University of the Philippines. He received a teacher's diploma in science and compositions of UP. Nicanor Abelardo and Francisco Santiago were among his famous mentors at the university. Binaventura led the UPROTC band and established the UP Junior Orchestra, which was the first collegiate orchestra in the country. He involved with the various military bands, which ultimately earned him his military rank of colonel. He was a music instructor and a band conductor of the Philippines Military Academy or PMA. Next is Rodolpo Es Cornejo, 1909-1991. Dr. Rodolfo Soldevilla Cornejo was born on May 15, 1909 in Singalong, Manila. With his mother's support, the young Cornejo started formal music lessons at the age of 6. He performed on stage after only 2 years of music studies. During this time, he was also invited as organist of the Pasay Catholic Church. His first compositions at age 10 was a piano piece entitled Glissando Waltz. It was followed 3 years later by a military march entitled Salute. At the age of 14, Cornejo already had 26 compositions listed by the United Publishing Company Incorporated. Cornejo graduated with a teacher's diploma in pianoforte and a teacher's diploma in science and compositions at the UP Conservatory of Music in 1930. He received his Bachelor of Music degree, major in piano and theory, from the Chicago Musical College of Roosevelt University. He was also known for his extemporaneous thematic improvisations based on the letters of people's name. He wrote 300 compositions ranging from classical to pop. Next is Pelepe de Leon Senor, 1912-1992. National artist for music, was born on May 1, 1912 in Pinaranda, Nueva Ecija. His parents were Juan de Leon and Natalia Padilla. Pelepe de Leon married pianist Eluminda Mendoza, with whom he had 6 children. One son, Bayani, is a well-known composer, and another son, Pelepe Jr., is a writer and present chairman of the National Commissions for Culture and the Arts, or NCCA. De Leon's talents in paintings and drawing was discovered during his school days and admired by his peers. People asked him to make illustrations and sketch, for which he was paid. When he was studying at the Nueva Ecija High School, he took up fine arts at the University of the Philippines in 1927, but he had to stop schooling in order to make a living. He played the trombone in dance orchestras, which performed in cabarets, circuses, and Buda Bill shows. He graduated with a music teacher's diploma, major in conducting, in 1939. Much later, he took advanced studies in composition under Vittorio Giannini of the Juilliard School of Music in New York, USA. He received many awards such as Composers of the Year, 1949, Manila Music Lovers Society, Musicians of the Year, 1958, UP Conservatory of Music. He was conferred an honorary degree Doctor of Philosophy in the Humanities by the University of the Philippines. Next is Losio Di San Pedro, 1913-2002. National artist music, was born on February 11, 1913 in Angono, Rizal. He started composing as early as his elementary days. He studied the banjo, which inspired him to become a serious musician. He later pursued his music degree at the University of the Philippines and Juilliard School in New York, USA. Upon returning to the Philippines, he became a professor of theory and composition at the University of the Philippines College of Music. He is known as Romantic Nationalist. He incorporated Philippine folk elements in his compositions with Western forms to create highly tonal melody and rich expressive harmonies. His chords have a rich expressive tonality, as represented in his well-loved Sa Ugoy ng Duyan, a lullaby melody sung by his mother. His orchestral compositions are best represented by the suite Pastoral, 1956, a poetic oral descriptions of his hometown Angono, and his nationalistic symphonies poem, Lahing Kayumanggi, in 1962. His other compositions include songs as well as pieces for violin, cello, piano, and chorus. His works for the symphony band, his most prolific and productive, both as a composer and a conductor. San Pedro's musical prowess was internationally recognized when he was invited to be a judge at the prestigious Van Cliburn International Piano Competitions in 1980. He was declared National Artist for Music in 1981 and passed away on March 31, 2002. Next is Rosendo E Santos Jr., 1922-1994. Was born on September 3, 1922 in Caridad, Cavite City. At age 11, he started composing band marches, instrumental and vocal scores, as well as music for Catholic masses. Santos studied in Cavite schools and later graduated from the UP Conservatory of Music, where he eventually became a faculty member. He also pursued a Master's of Music degree in Theory and Composition from the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C., after which he also served on its faculty as well in West Virginia University and Howard University as a UNESCO scholar. Santos was awarded the Philippine Composer of the Century after receiving the Composer of the Year award in Manila in 1956 and 1957. He joined the faculty at Wilkes University, Pennsylvania in 1968. He performed as timpanist, pianist, and conductor with several orchestral groups. A prolific composer, he wrote several piano concerti, sonatas, symphonies, symphonic poems, 5 operas in Filipino, numerous band overtures, and more than 200 marches. Next is Alfredo Espinaventura, born on 1929, composer, conductor, and teacher. Was born in Santa Maria, Bulacan on October 14, 1929. He grew up in a musical environment and drawn by his fascination with trumpets and trombones. He became a band member in his hometown at a young age and eventually one of the band's arrangers and conductors. He was one of 20 boy sopranos of the Chapel of Santo Domingo Church, where he received his first significant musical training. At that time, he also wrote his first compositions, Danza. He received his Bachelor of Music degree in Compositions and Conducting from Centro Scholar University and studied sacred music at the Gregorian Institute. He became an official organist of the Manila Cathedral in 1960 and later the Dean of the College of Music, Centro Scholar University. He holds an honorary Doctor of Music degree from the Philippine Women's University. A prolific composer, he has composed over 50 major works including 5 full-length operas, operettas, dance, dramas, cantatas, symphonies, concerti, ballet, overtures, preludes, figures, and chamber music. Many of his compositions are based on Filipino heroes, legends, and epics. He uses native songs, both tribal and folk, as themes of his music compositions, and a number of his compositions make use of Filipino indigenous instruments. Next is Raymondo Sepriano or Ryan P. Cayabyab, was born on May 4, 1954 in Manila. He obtained his Bachelor of Music degree at the University of the Philippines College of Music and became a faculty member for compositions at the same university. He is a popular contemporary composer who also has classical compositions to his credit, such as Missa, poems for soprano and piano, and Te Deum. His compositional styles makes much use of syncopation, extended chord, and chromatic harmony. He spans both popular and classical worlds with his pop music, ballads, operas, zarzuelas, orchestral arrangements, musicals, masses, psalms, and choral compositions. His compositions are mostly of traditional Western influence. Among his numerous compositions are the award-winning Kay Ganda ng Ating Musika, 1978, as well as the modern zarzuela Alikabok, 2003, the opera Espolarium with libretto by Page Cuyugan Asinso, and a variety of choral pieces and song cycles. He has also produced numerous recordings, including the memorable Album 1, where he personally sang the unaccompanied songs on different tracks to produce 16 boys. Cayabyab also serves as the executive and artistic director of the San Miguel Foundation for the Performing Arts, which oversaw the San Miguel Philharmonic Orchestra and the San Miguel Master Choral. At present, he continues to be a much sought-after professor, musical director, composer, arranger, and conductor in the Philippine concerti and recording scenes. Okay, so any clarifications, suggestions about our topic this morning? So if none, thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel at www.gaitf.com, and don't forget to open your LCMS. Bye-bye.